Welcome to the Student Engagement Center's Resume Writing Workshop. This presentation will provide you with general writing guidelines and some helpful hints to make your resume a strong representation of your skills and interests. There are some general rules of resume writing that will help you present yourself in a coherent and organized way. Currently enrolled students or recent graduates should limit their resumes to one page. Most employers spend very little time looking at the individual resumes they receive, so it's best to present your information concisely. Font should be between 10 and 12 point, and margins should be between ½ inch and 1 inch. White spaces draw the eye away from text, so avoid large blank spaces in your resume. Consistency is key. Present information such as dates and locations in the same format throughout your document. List your experiences in reverse chronological order, with the most recent experience at the top of each section. Finally, avoid resume templates. While they may be convenient, they can give the impression that you lack the skills and creativity to create your own unique resume. When writing the actual content of the resume, it is important to keep the reader engaged. Use action verbs and phrases, and if you are familiar enough to do so, use industry-specific language. When you outline the job responsibilities for each position you have held, describe the actions you took and the skills you gained, not just a list of tasks. Avoid dull or generic statements such as responsible for and duties include. Quantify your examples. Data often gives legitimacy to a task that you have accomplished. Resumes are not a place for narrative. Eliminate the use of I and full sentences. Phrases are more appropriate and take up less space in sentences. Lastly, tailor your resume to the employer's needs. It will show that you have done your research and are informed about the company and the job. The components of a resume are flexible, but there are a few components that must be included, such as name and contact information, education, and relevant experience. Your relevant experience can include jobs, internships, or leadership roles you've held. Some optional section headings include objective, other work experience, volunteer work and community service, extracurricular activities, skills, and honors. Your contact information should include your full name, phone number, and email address. Unless it is something that everyone knows you by, you should not include a nickname. Physical addresses are no longer necessary. An employer will be contacting you primarily via email or phone. Make sure your phone number and email address are correct. Your voicemail and email address should be appropriate and professional. At minimum, your education information should include your school name and location, your degree and major, and your month and year of graduation. Your degree should be presented as Bachelor of Arts, either written out or abbreviated such as B.A. You can include other education information, including your GPA, any minors or concentrations, or any study abroad experiences. If they are relevant to your experience, you can also include your thesis topic or courses you have taken. The skills section is very important. An employer takes about 7 seconds to decide if they're going to continue to read your resume. After your education credentials, they want to see if you have the skills they are looking for. Your skills section should be relevant to the position. You should look at the preferred and minimum requirements of the position to identify what the employer wants. The skills section should include 6 to 10 bullet points, highlighting the following. 1. Soft skills directly related to the job requirements that focus on your interpersonal skills. 2. Language skills that you have. And 3. Any computer technical skills that are pertinent to the position. Remember that Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, and Excel are no longer considered to be special computer skills. Don't include them unless specifically requested by the employer. Following the education section, the relevant experience section is where you describe your work, internships, and leadership roles. These experiences should relate to the job, company, or industry in which you are interested. You should provide the job title, the name of the company or organization, the location, and the dates of your employment or term. The description you provide for each position should not simply read as a task list. It should instead demonstrate the skills you gained, your accomplishments, and your responsibilities. The description should include strong action verbs and should not be in the form of full sentences, but instead be concise, descriptive phrases. This example shows the difference between a task-oriented description and a skills and action-oriented description. The better example addresses overall job responsibilities and accomplishments. Also, instead of tasks, it includes data and outcomes. An other work experience section can include internships or leadership roles you have held that have provided you with important skills. These items must include job title, name of employer, city and state, and your dates of employment. As with your relevant experience section, your description of each position should include actions and accomplishments, and should emphasize transferable skills. When putting together a resume, it is important to think about qualities the company or organization is looking for in an applicant, and address those things accordingly. The first place to look for these needed qualities is in the job description. The job description will state desired qualifications, and it is important to make sure that they are represented in your resume. You should also research the company to learn about its culture, because that will also give you some indication of the kind of people they hope to hire. There are additional qualities that companies or organizations look for when hiring. It may be beneficial to you to demonstrate these qualities in your resume. These may include strong communication skills, proven problem-solving abilities, flexibility and adaptability, ability to handle multiple tasks, attention to detail, coordination of tasks or projects, and organizational skills. Companies may also place high value on candidates with previous leadership experiences or experiences working successfully in a team or group setting. There are additional sections that you can include on your resume if they are relevant to the position or if space allows. They can include honors and awards such as merit-based scholarship or service, volunteer experiences, and extracurricular experiences. Before sending your resume to a potential employer, save it as a PDF. This will ensure that your format is maintained the way you intended. Additionally, it is always a good idea to save your resume with an informative file name that includes identifying information. For example, an informative file name could include your first initial and last name, the job title, and the word resume. Avoid these very common resume mistakes. Double and triple check your document for misspellings and improper grammar. Avoid inconsistent formatting. Do not include unnecessary personal information such as age, race, gender, or social security number. Avoid generic content. Instead, be creative and informative when describing your experiences. Because space on your resume is so limited, do not include irrelevant information such as your high school name and GPA or interests and hobbies. Never send an unaccompanied resume. A cover letter is a useful tool to bring your resume to life. There are a few important rules when composing a strong cover letter. Address the letter to a specific person. If no name is indicated in the job description, call the organization to ask for a name to address your materials. Research the employer and know the position. The more you know, the more engaged you will appear in the organization. Emphasize the skills you offer and include evidence of those skills through your previous experiences. Remember your audience's needs, as identified in the job description. The format of your cover letter looks something like this. The first paragraph tells why you are writing in response to an ad or someone has referred you. Remember to include your reasoning for applying to this job or this organization. Body paragraphs provide examples of how your experiences and skills meet their needs. The final paragraph thanks them for their interest and states that you would appreciate an interview as well as providing information about how they can contact you. Any questions can be directed to the Student Engagement Center in Room 219, Reed Campus Center.